What's up, guys? Got another video for you. This is the video review of the Stihl MS200t top handle chainsaw. This is considered the top of the line pro arborist in tree use top handle saw. For anybody that doesn't know, top handle refers to the trigger and everything being on the top of the handle rather than on a regular two-hand saw. You have one hand up here and then your other hand is back here where the trigger is. This is a top handle, meaning that you can use it with one hand totally. So it's just really compact and it's really nice to use in a tree or even on the ground. I'm telling you, actually, me and the guys probably use these saws more than our other big saws on the ground. These things, for their size and their power, they just rip through everything. Our 200Ts are ported out, or not ported out, but the muffler screen and the muffler has been bored out, so they have a little bit more top end nuts, I guess you could say, and they are louder. If you ever hear a tree company like ours, obviously, and you hear that, that high-pitched scream high up in the trees, that's one of these guys. So just the basic specs of this thing. It's a 35cc motor, and it puts out a little over 2 horsepower, 2.1 to be exact. The weight of it is over 7.5 pounds for just the motor itself without a bar and chain on it. So it is a pretty heavy saw for the size of it, but it's just a very stout machine. The fuel capacity is 12.5 ounces, and the bar and chain oil tank is a little bit less than double of the fuel. So we'll basically just go through it. On this one, I have a 16 inch. On the other ones that we have 14 inches. And actually, let me bring that one over here too. Now the 200Ts, if you've been hearing guys say about these versus the 201Ts, that's the 14 inch. One of the 14 inches that we have, and here's the only 16 inch one we have. But a lot of the guys, if you've been noticing, with the 200Ts versus the new 201Ts that Stihl came out with, the guys do not like the 201s. They're saying that with all the emission stuff, they just don't have the power and the well, they say they have power, but they don't have the top end that these do to really, sing through a treetop when you're just topping a tree and letting it fly. I mean, I've heard some bad stories of, the guys just holding the 201s wide open, going to make a full cut to top a tree, and then just dies, and then instead of the top just falling, it cracks and falls, and the climber goes for a ride, and it's just not a bad sight. I mean, it's all over Arbor site and all the forums. So again, this one has a 16, that one's a 14. They're the same exact unit. Start at the back. Here's your hook for your carabiner and your climbing lanyard to put on your saddle. Back here is the air filter. Here is your fuel tank, and your lube tank is up front. Now these caps, like all Stihl caps, this black piece flips up, and it's just about a half turn, and then it's open. There's no threads. It's just like a, like you see all the weird notches on the bottom. It just basically, it sits in, spins, locks, and then you flip it down, and then that pretty much locks it in there. There's been times where I've seen my guys fill the saw for my climber, and they'll put the lube cap back on, and it won't seal sometimes just because obviously the lube is slippery and the cap doesn't seal properly, and then the lube goes everywhere. I'm not a fan of these caps. I don't like them. I don't know why I still had to go away from the threads. I mean, threads have worked, forever. But to each his own, whatever. On the same side, you have your recoil start and the half wrap handle. Your chain brake's up here, up top. And then up top as well, you have your on-off switch. All the way back is choke, but choke will not go all the way back unless you have the trigger depressed. Then choke will come back, which locks the trigger full throttle. Then half choke, and then you pull the trigger and it automatically puts it to on, and all the way forward is off. Coming on this side, you have your 1 bar nut, and then in there too is your tensioner. Alright, again on this side you have your exhaust, and then your bar and chain. Same exact thing goes for that saw. Nothing crazy about this saw. It's, like I said, this is considered the top of the line pro arborist in-tree use chainsaw. This is not a cheap saw for what it is. I mean, I've seen these go anywhere from $700 to $900 for this saw with a 14-inch bar and chain. And actually, we have 3 of these total, and I actually just bought another one that I found on eBay, another 200t, just because we really don't need it, but just because it's a 200t. There's going to be, within the next year probably, or even earlier, who knows, that somebody's going to be looking for a 200t instead of a 201, and and I'll be able to sell that, because these 200ts are going to become a hot commodity. Still says they're working on the 201s, trying to get them all tweaked out, but I don't know, we'll see. But I'll start this guy for you right now. Put this down. Now, like I said, we took the muffler screen out and bored out the muffler a little bit to give it some more power. But as you can tell, it's very loud too. But it definitely helps with the performance of it. That's pretty much it. It's dancing now. But pretty much it. Now my tree climber, my tree monkey I call him, he has a personal 200T that he uses at his home, and if for some odd reason he feels like using his own instead of one of ours, he uses his. But his is completely bone stock, still has the screen, the muffler is still stock, and he's constantly in awe of how just 2 little adjustments with the muffler on this make his saw like a Poulan Pro or something. It just doesn't match up, he says. So I've never used his saw, but obviously he has used both, and he definitely prefers these with a few modifications. Now I do run 93 octane fuel and Red Max 2-stroke oil in everything I own, and I have seen a difference between using a lower grade fuel as well as a different type of 2-stroke oil. I used the Echo 2-stroke oil for a little while, and I saw a little bit more smoke at full RPMs on everything. These, leaf blowers, weed whackers, everything. So I do use 93 octane fuel and Red Max 2-stroke oil. So this is pretty much, the whole saw here. Stihl MS200t, top handle pro arborist in tree use chainsaw. Like I said, this one has a 16-inch bar and chain, and then we have 2 of those with the 14-inch bar and chain. And like I said, I've seen these go anywhere from 700 to 900. I paid $810 each for these. So that's pretty much it. If you have any questions or anything, just put them in and hopefully I'll get to them.